Hey everyone, Tenos here. I was asked to make a video on how large caliber rounds and silver bullets interact with each other and why you might want to take silver bullets, or I'm sorry, large caliber rounds over silver bullets in my opinion, because it does provide um, a better bullet economy, so to speak, when it comes to the two card choices here. I'll see a lot of people saying that silver bullets is better. And I'd like to just kind of show you with a little bit of math here and spreadsheeting, if you will, how that is. I can make a video if you really would like me to, using knowledge is power and demonstrating in game how silver bullets, um, the fall off works, and also how large caliber rounds you'll get more penetration out of it, which has more value, in my opinion, than just a few extra yards and 2.5% more bullet damage. 200% penetration is just so huge. Um, so let's take a look here. We're going to be looking at a couple of different guns. We're going to be looking at how the two cards interact with each other, if you're going to add them to each other versus multiplying with other cards. And I'll show you here how the different penetration values work on the different weapons using the backforstats.maz.lol website, which I'll link in the bottom. On this website, you can also find a link to the spreadsheet. This will always be the most up-to-date version of the spreadsheet. Also, if you have the Discord, Back4Stats Discord, it is also in the project overview channel at the very top in there. I'll give you a link to that Discord, but the link will probably expire. So back to the spreadsheet here. I want to try to make this kind of quick and concise. So we're going to take a look at, say, like 4 or 5 different weapons here. Let's start with the most basic weapon, the M4 carbine, as a white weapon. Um, One thing to keep in mind before we start here is that different weapons will have different um, values that change as they gain quality. Not only does damage go up, but sometimes stumble goes up, sometimes other stats go up. On this website here, at a quick glance, you can see all the different stats that weapons have here. And if there's no little red indicators next to the stat, that means the stat does not change at all when the rarity increases. So you can see on the M4, the rarity does not change how much penetration or how much stumble it has or reload speed or anything like that. Coming down to the AK, you can see the stumble goes up as it gets quality increased, but that's the only stat that goes up. On the M16, it actually gets a lot of stats increases, but it does not get a stumble or a penetration increase as the quality goes up. You will get ADS time, you'll get swap in, swap out time, move speed, etc., but you will not get some of the more important values, in my opinion. Um, so you can just take a look at this website and get your own little thoughts on here. But we'll take a look at the M4 again. It has 0.75 penetration. Here's a little like dialogue to help you understand how that works as a stat. But I think visually it's a little bit better to see it here in this table. Um, so we have no modifiers here, nothing selected. It's just the base weapon, no cards in your deck, nothing. And we're going to be on Nightmare, because I think most people are going to be playing Nightmare with, let's just do a Ferocious modifier here. Shouldn't really change too much at all as far as we're looking at. That does start to change things over here on the right as far as time to kill and time to stumble, hits to kill, other stats like that. Um, so let's go ahead and throw in silver bullets. Well, first let's take a look at this range table here. So the M4 carbine has 11-meter range, where it has full value for its damage. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. It's a 17.5-meter range where it gets the full 11 damage per shot value. Um, and after that range, it starts getting drop-off values, um, all the way to the 22.5-meter range. The value goes down to 8.8, and then you're going to be hitting for 7.04 at 25 meters and beyond. Um, so once again, that was 7.5 and 25 meters are the two big numbers there that matter. Let's take a look at silver bullets here. So we can see that the damage is going to go up. That's not really important here. Obviously, that's going to go up because of the bullet damage, but we're looking more at the range here. So we go from 17.5 to 20.125. So we got, what was that, 2.5, a little bit more than 2.5, 2.625 damage range increase in meters. And then we get all the way up to 28.75 from the 25-meter range. Um, really, 2.5 meters is not even remotely significant enough to matter. Um, it has very little impact on how you're going to play. Even if you threw in if you really wanted to extend your range, just throw in why am I clicking on this? Barrel attachment for the long barrel, and even just the green version, you're going to see that without silver bullets, obviously it's going to have a higher value because it is a higher value as it is, but going up to purple, the value just goes up past 30 meters and you're hitting pretty far out. If you don't know how far 30 meters is in game, you should hop in the game and just ping something across the room and you'll see how far it is to yourself. It has a little indicator below it telling you the range. Um, so back to silver bullets. Um, so on silver bullets, we're going to get a 12.1 damage increase versus the large caliber rounds. We'll get 11.825, or from 11, I should say, so 0.825. And then we're also going to take a look here at the penetration. So on a M4, it has a 0.75 penetration value. That means the first common it hits, it's going to do full damage to. The second common it's going to hit, it's going to do less damage to. I think that the value is going to be 25% less damage, but I'm not sure how that exactly works. Um, and that's just without any modifications here. The barrel doesn't matter. The only thing that will matter was the magazine or any type of penetration values from cards. And there's only 2 cards that'll do that for you. So let's throw in silver or large caliber rounds, and you'll see that table at the bottom right here. It's just going to change drastically. It does work differently with different guns. The values get changed a little bit. You'll kind of see that when I go over to the Glock Autos and the Tech 9s versus like the revolver. You'll see the values are pretty significantly different. But as you can see here, we're hitting not only 3, 4, 5, we're hitting six commons at full damage. And then, you know, if you hit the fourth common and you had a mutation behind it, you're still going to hit the mutation for full damage. Or if you're shooting through 3 mutations, you're going to be hitting all 3 for full damage. That's pretty significant when you have a large horde funneled into a hallway on no hope difficulty and you're trying to hit that tall boy in the back, or you're trying to hit that reeker in the back that's just spewing on your team. You want to be able to penetrate and hit it. And having that extra range is not going to do anything for you when you have a bunch of common in front of you compared to having the penetration. That's what I'm really trying to emphasize here. Um, so let's take a look at a few other weapons here. Let's take a look at some snipers and how those work with penetration. As you can see, without any penetration, you're only hitting the second common with an M&A for full damage. You won't even fully penetrate a mutation for full damage. We'll look at the other non-legendaries. So the first 3 common you'll hit for full damage with a Phoenix. And then the Barrett, the first 4 you'll penetrate. I believe this has the highest penetration value other than I believe that the highest penetration value of any gun in the game is going to be an LMG. It's going to be the Embezzler has a 2.01 value. I think it might go up a little bit. It's just 2.01. And then the other one off the top of my head that has a lot of penetration is 2.62 from the Nemesis. I don't think any other weapon in the game can even compare to that. Just looking through this list, not even the Lockjaw has 1.5. So if you really want to penetrate, you don't have large caliber rounds, you probably need to pick up a Nemesis or a Embezzler. But even then, those are not going to penetrate very far. So back to the M1A, we'll just kind of show you the values again with large caliber rounds. So you're penetrating 8 zombies, or 8 common, and it probably goes even further, just as far as the table goes. And you can see the same things going down to the Phoenix and the Barrett. It just gets kind of nutty with how much you penetrate. And in my opinion, even on a Barrett with no penetration, if you're shooting through 3 common, you're not going to be hitting the mutation behind them for full damage. I think that you'll be hitting it for full damage if you shoot through 2 common. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but um, yeah, that you can kind of see here. Let's take a look at some pistols here now. Let's or just a pistol and take a look at the Glock Auto. Really fast, has this penetration value, and then the 23. They're all pretty similar. The one that has the most, I think, will be the Deagle or the Magnum. You see the Magnum has a little bit more penetration, so there's a Deagle. Um, let's go back to the Glock Auto, and you can see how significant it changes. It's not going to be as significant as sniper rifles, but it is pretty significant. Um, you're hitting 3 common now instead of just 1 for full damage, and if you happen to find a reload speed penetration mag, um, fast AP, here you go, uh, or even like a extended penetration mag, you can see the value goes up. That's going to be equivalent to a blue penetration mag, because they're both 100% penetration. So now you're getting an extra 2 common with that magazine in there. So something else to consider when you're running your Glock autos and stuff like that is to not try to go for that 75% mag. You might want to go for that 50% with 100% penetration. It actually has a lot of benefit for sidearms that have very low penetration values, and SMGs as well. They have really low penetration values. You can see here with an Uzi with large caliber rounds, with the blue penetration mag, we're only hitting 3 zombies. Um, I think the ump has the highest. It's going to hit 6, so you don't really need the penetration mag in that weapon so much. It does help, but I wouldn't scoff at penetration mags like a lot of people do. They're quite good. Um, let's take a look at the Tech 9. It's a weapon a lot of people like to use, especially in snipers. We have 2 common hit with large caliber rounds, but you mean that that range on that is still not going to be increased significantly enough with silver bullets to even matter either. We're hitting, I think that's 7.5 meters before the fall off starts happening, and we're hitting 17.5 meters at max fall off for almost or for less than half damage, or I think that's exactly half damage, or a little bit more. And then we'll take a look at silver bullets and see how little that changes this value. It goes from 7.5 to 8.625 and 17.5 to 20.125. It's just not worth it. Really, it's just not. And you can see here, you're not even hitting the second common for full damage. You're almost not even fully hitting the second common for any damage. It's just so insignificant. Um, and you really, in higher difficulties, for people that play Nightmare or especially No Hope, you're gonna hear a lot of people's cleaners yelling out that they need ammo. And it's because they don't have this penetration here. They're doing less with each round that they're firing because they're not penetrating properly. Um, I think that's it as far as penetration. I want to talk really briefly about stumble, um, and then also the multiplying of damage values, because I think this is something that's kind of missed a lot when people build their decks. I am working on a little cheat sheet for that as well. It's going to be a graphic, kind of outlining which cards will multiply versus which cards will add. Until that graphic's made, you can take a look at this cards section here on the spreadsheet, which is very well made. Each column is a multiplies against other columns, and then each row adds to other rows. So going down, it'll add. Going across, it'll multiply. You can see here weapon damage of the shell carrier, stock pouch, all those different things is 1.1. That's 10%. Is going to multiply against uh, the 10% per stack of patient hunter, for example, or for all the bullet damage modifiers here. You can see them all right here down to power swap. They're all bullet damage. Those all add to each other. Silver bullets and large caliber rounds both add to each other. They don't multiply. So having large caliber rounds with something like I don't know, one of the weapon damage is going to give you more damage rather than having silver bullets with large caliber rounds. Same with having silver bullets or large caliber rounds with mark for death. Is going to be more important than having it with silver bullets. The range just is not worth it. If you want range, you need to throw in a long barrel or you need to throw in a infinite range, the spray and pray. Um, back to the interface here. So we'll take a look at that as with numbers again. So let's add in silver bullets again. We can see that we have 7.5 plus 10% bullet damage is giving us a 10.575 damage per shot value. And if we go in here and just give it a multiplication instead of addition card, we're going to see it go up to 10.64. Again, that was 10.575. That's not significant. I realize this. But once you start getting a bunch of modifiers, different attachments for weapons, different other multiplying cards, all the multiplication starts becoming significantly important on the higher difficulties for getting the damage you need on the time to kill for certain enemies. I could go through here and add all the cards if you wanted, but you could probably sit here and do it yourself. I highly recommend you throw your whole deck in here and take a look at, oh, hey, it's going to take me, you know, 18 seconds to kill a tall boy on Ferocious Tall Boy Nightmare. I might want to change my deck a little bit because they're going to definitely hit me before then. Um, so yeah, and then as far as stumble goes, let me just pull out a weapon that has a little bit more stumble because it'll be a little bit more apparent with that. I think the Barrett has a lot of stumble on it for sure. So 68 stumble with these two cards here. It has a base stumble value of 58.47. We're going to throw in large caliber rounds. You can see the stumble goes up with large caliber rounds. As you add different cards, the stumble will increase. Some cards it will not increase with. So it's another thing that this damage calculator is extremely good with, is you can see your time to stumble for certain things. One of the most important things to stumble is retches, in my opinion. I like to be able to stumble them, but not kill them in one hit. So I can knock them away from teammates, stumble them away on the first shot, and then I can kill them on the next shot once they're in the proper distance, so we don't trigger another horde. Um, if you don't know, retches are the ones that explode and trigger hordes, but don't do any damage when they explode. So you can see here the overprotective gives us no stumble value, but you can see that silver bullets does, and you can see that mark for death will also. Again, our base stumble was 62 without those cards. Even team damage, I don't actually doesn't give you stumble value. I haven't gone through all these cards yet, but you can start seeing how different ones give you different stumble values and how that might be more important to you, like it is to me. Combat training is a big one, but you can see the combat trainings only give us 66 stumble. You're going to get more stumble out of a mark for death than a combat training, as interesting as that is. So just bear that stuff in mind, and hopefully you can use this spreadsheet that was very well made um, to make yourself better. Thanks for watching.